guys, today we are going to be working on number 10, 11, and 14 to learn G, F sharp, and E. I'm going to start the video on violin, then I'll move to just viola, then just cello, then just bass. Make sure you go ahead and skip ahead to your instrument. Alright, starting off, we need to put the instrument up on our shoulder, make sure we're not on the collarbone, up on the shoulder, lift your head up, turn, and then rest your chin and jaw area down on the shoulder rest so we have a nice grip on the instrument. Next, our hand, we've been practicing slides in the class. Okay, we want to keep a nice straight wrist. When our thumb gets to that first tape, we're going to leave it right there. We don't want our thumb super high up. It should just be the tip of your thumb about that first tape. The other side of your hand, you want right about that first knuckle area, and it's going to be in between the nut and the first tape. Once we get there, we're going to curl our fingers down like little squares onto our D string, the first tape. So our index finger is on the first tape, the D string. It's a nice box shape. Okay, and I'm on my fingertip. Then I'm going to place down my middle finger onto the second tape, still a nice square shape. And then my ring finger on the third tape, nice square shape. Once all my fingers are down, I'm going to check and make sure I have a nice straight wrist again. We don't want that. We also don't want that. We want it to be as straight as possible. Okay, still boxed fingers, trying to give you some good angles here. That's what your fingers should look like. And then your pinky is going to hover over that fourth tape. Let's go ahead and play number 10. 1, 2, ready, go. Good. Now, we're going to lift up our ring finger only. This is going to give us F sharp. I'm going to lift it up just above the string. I'm not going to lift it high. You can see this is all the movement. Down, up, down, up. That's all it is. You just want the smallest amount of space between your finger and the string. We don't want our fingers way up here. It's going to make it harder for us to put them back down later on when we start moving them. And we're more likely to play off tune, so we need to keep our fingers down, hovering over the string. Let's go ahead and play F sharp. It's just your first and second finger touching the string. Your other two fingers hover. 1, 2, ready, go. And last but not least, we're going to learn E. For E, we're just going to lift one more finger. We're going to lift up the middle finger just above the string. You can see my fingers are still hovering right over the string. My hand hasn't moved much. If I were to put them all down, it doesn't look a whole lot different than when I have them up. Okay, so we're leaving down that first finger, hovering all the rest of our fingers just above the strings, just above our tapes. That way we know exactly where our fingers go back down. Let's go ahead and play number 14, E. 1, 2, ready, go. Now, always make sure that you're keeping a nice straight wrist the entire time and keeping those fingers nice and close. All right, I'm going to move on to viola now. Alright, viola players, I'm sorry I don't have tapes on this viola, but that's okay, we'll make it work. So we're going to be playing G, F sharp, and E. First thing, we need to make sure we get the instrument up onto our shoulder. Make sure we're not on our collarbone. That's a really common mistake for viola players because the instrument's so heavy. We want the instrument to go up over the shoulder. That's why we have a shoulder rest. Okay, you just go up over the shoulder, look up, turn your head, and then rest your jaw and chin area on your chin rest, okay? So we want the instrument to be supported by our head and our shoulder. We want as little weight as possible to go into our hand. We've also been practicing this in class, our slides in class. where we have the tip of our thumb touching the side of the neck, right about where the contact point is between the neck and the fingerboard, sliding our hand there. And then the other side of our hand, we're sliding at that first knuckle, that first crease in our finger. Then you're going to stop. Your thumb should end at about where your first tape will be. So your tape should hang over the side. You're going to put your thumb where that tape comes over the side of the fingerboard. The other side of your hand, this crease area, just a little bit below there, it should be in between the nut and the first tape. From there, we're going to curl down our first finger into a box shape. See how it's a square? My first finger's square. I'm putting it down on the first tape. It needs to be directly on top of the tape. Not before it, not after it, right on it. Then I'm going to take my second finger, my middle finger. I'm going to curl it down onto the second tape. Then my ring finger, I'm going to curl down onto my third tape. All of my fingers should be nice and squared off. I should be up on my fingertips. I'm trying to give you as many angles as possible. Up on my fingertips. And then my pinky is going to hover over the fourth tape. Once I have all of my fingers down, I'm going to double check, do I have a nice straight wrist? We don't want our wrist like that. We don't want it like that. We want a nice straight wrist so we don't cause any issues with our tendons. Okay, now we have all of our fingers down. We're going to hover that pinky. Make sure the wrist is straight, and let's play number 10. Make sure you get that right elbow up. 1, 2, ready, and. Good. Now let's move on to number 11. All we're going to do is we're going to lift up our ring finger, keeping it hovered over the tapes just like the pinky. Let's go ahead and play F sharp. 1, 2, ready, go. And now we're going to move on and play E. All I'm going to do is lift up the middle finger now. So all I have left down is my index finger. My other fingers are staying very close to the string. They're hovering just over where your tapes will be. Okay? Keep it as close to the string as possible. That way we can speed up our movement later on. And it's easier for us to land back on the tapes, back where our fingers are supposed to go when we start moving our fingers during a song. Let's go ahead and play E. Remember, it's just your pointer finger, index finger down. The other three should be hovering over the tapes. 1, 2, ready. And that's how you play G, F sharp, and E on viola. I'm going to move on to cello now. Hello, cello players. All right, we're going to be playing G, F sharp, and E. We need to make sure we're set up with the end pin long enough that the head and the scroll area of the instrument is just behind our head. No way of getting really a good angle on this. Okay, it should be just about in this area, and your body should be nice and straight. You shouldn't be like twisting your body to try and get behind the instrument. We don't want that. Bring the instrument to you, not yourself to the instrument. All right, and we want that C peg to be just behind our ear area, not actually touching our head, but it'll probably be in your hair. Make sure that we get our elbow up, so we have a nice straight wrist over here. Our thumb is going to be curled in the back, in between the first and second tape area. So your middle finger and thumb each pinch the neck on the D string, in between, so you can see it, first and second tapes. Okay, that's where the middle finger goes. Then, once you have it pinched, curved fingers, like you're holding a soda can, curved fingers, you're going to put your first finger on the first tape, your third finger on the second tape, and then your fourth finger on that third tape. All of your fingers should be nice and curved. You should be up on your fingertips. keeping that thumb bent in the back. And once again, nice straight wrist. Let's go ahead and play number 10. Make sure we keep our elbow up and our finger pointing down while we're pitching, our thumb on the side. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, let's move on to F sharp. All we're going to do is lift this pinky a little bit. Do you see how much movement that is? Down, up, down, up. It shouldn't be tucked. It shouldn't be way up here. We want it hovering right over the string. This will give us F sharp. Let's play number 11. 1, 2, ready, and. And now let's play number 14, E. Now we're going to lift up 2 fingers. We're going to lift up our middle finger and our ring finger at the same time, like a unit. They both go down, they both come up. Okay, that's it. So we're left with 1 finger down. We're still keeping the elbow up. Our thumb is still bent in the back. Our other fingers are all still curved. They're just hovering right over the string, right over the tapes. Let's play 14. 1, 2, ready, and. And that's how you play E. I'm going to move on to bass now. All right, bass players. I should have taken out my end pin. I didn't. I'm sorry. For you all, G is easy. It's your open string. We're going to skip that. We're going to go on to the other 2. We need to make sure we have a nice curved hand. Our thumb should be in the back of the neck in between our first and second tapes. Nice and curved. And then our middle finger goes straight across from it on the D string. Then I'm going to point my first finger back and put it down on the first tape. Then my other 2 fingers are going to come down right next to the middle finger and end up on the second tape. This is how we play F sharp. Let's go ahead and play number 11. 1, 2, ready, and. Now to play number 14, E, all we're going to do is lift up these 3 fingers. These 3 fingers for right now should act like a unit. They move together. They stay together. They hang out together. First finger is all by itself. So lift up that unit. Leave it right over the string. Leave that pinky right over the tape. Okay? The thumb is still bent in the back. And typically, you should end up about right here with your bass. Well, I really need to have the end pin out. You should end up about right here with your bass. Okay? So your hand should be next to your head. Like I said, right now I'm not being a good example. Sorry. Let's play number 14. Nice bent fingers. Make sure you're on your fingertip. Hover those other 2 fingers, or other 3 fingers. 1, 2, ready, go. And that's how you play G, F sharp, and E on bass. Thanks.